Hi everyone. I'm choosing to do an all signs video tonight. We'll do Aries through Pisces in the good old order of the zodiac. The theme tonight is what is the last impression you've left on them? Them being the person on your mind, the person that you care for, and for whom their opinion matters to you. So we're actually going to use only one deck. I'll be pulling very few cards. The messages will be straight to the point. The cards are both upright and reversed. And I'm trying this out with you. So Aries, you've got two cards that flipped and another one that didn't turn, that came out afterwards. So the first two are Five of Wands with the Queen of Cups. I'm actually not going to turn the card just yet, the third one. So let me just start here. They kind of had somewhat of a mixed impression from you. They can tell you're a very kind, loving person. They feel you are approachable, or at least they're very interested in approaching you. I believe they think you're beautiful and caring as well. Yet there's either competition around, or you might have come through as maybe a little extra or as simply you came off like as really busy. You might have not have had some either time or enough time in the moment to really dedicate more attention to this person. I think you were caught up. So they see you as someone that somewhat was unavailable to them in the moment. They might have seen you having a lot going on. Let's turn that card. The Knight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, they really saw you as a busybody, someone who's like, you know, running errands, going from one place to another, almost like ADD, right? Like not having much time to dedicate to people, places, and situations. At least from the outside on, you know, that's the impression that they got. So although they feel you're this incredible person, that they're, what they actually feel, I just, something changed in me, and they have a natural curiosity. What I mean by something changed in me is that it's almost like I got a flash, right? So the energy shifted. So they have this natural curiosity for you, as being attracted to someone that they feel is caring, but their whole experience of you is an in and out, or like more like someone that's like either very quick or not there for very long. So almost like the wind, you know, hard to catch, doesn't stay in place, super busy, like I said already. Which also leaves them with this impression that they have to crack open, you know, they have to open you up or find a way to get you to open up. So I'm referring to the majestic cup that is on the Queen of Cups' lap, because it has a cover in this case. So you feel a little bit like a mystery. Not to say that you come off mysterious, because the cards are not showing that, but there is a core to you that they sense that they haven't really pierced, and they're intrigued. They just wonder, when is it that they're actually going to be able to grab your attention amongst, you know, everything you've got going on, the people that come up to you that request your time, etc., etc. So let's do Taurus now. I actually enjoy 3 cards for this spread, for this, I guess, theme. Taurus. 4 cards flipped. I'm actually going to take them. 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the Judgment, 3 of Swords in reverse with the 5 of Wands, Taurus. Well, the latest impression they got from you was, you know, they want to fully open up to you. You know, they want to repeat something in love with you. They might have been heartbroken, or there's 2 things. They might feel like you've hurt them in the past, but they've overcome that. You know, you might have been arguing with them in the past. That's part of the latest impression you left on them, right? Something that was difficult to handle, to overcome mostly. But they have managed to do so. Although they still feel that there's a lot going on. I just said that for Aries. It was kind of a different context, but I guess like the quote-unquote conflictual energy between the 2 of you might not all be cleared out fully, but you're choosing to open yourself up. You're gathering your courage here to speak with them. I feel that you're overcoming, and the reason I use this card to say that, I don't think you're overcoming competition, although it's a possibility, but what I'm sensing here is much more overcoming, something like inner conflict, or overcoming their fear of having more conflict with you, more drama. Not so much that there's like conflict within a group. Excuse me, not in this case. It is still present, so you could, if that applies to you, yes, it could have been a triangle. So even if there's 5 people here, 5 wands, it could still be simply the struggle between the 3 people within the triangle. It's a possibility. I like to see it as much more having overcome earlier sensitivities and particular I guess bad memories, right, that they would have had with you. Concerning, I feel in this case with these 2 cards, I do feel that you've had a first go at a relationship, right? So the impression could also be that it could be switched. It could be their want and their desire to repeat something with you, opening up to you, and having had, you know, the bad memories of the last, I guess not the last impression, but the last before last impression of having had some beef with you, right? Or it could be switched, and they feel that about you, that you're the one wanting to repeat this. It could be. Let's do Gemini. That one could really be for both you, Taurus, and the cross watcher. Let's see what Gemini has in store. What was the last impression they made on you, Gemini? Page of Swords in reverse. I'm going to draw 2 more cards. Three came out for you. 6 of Wands, 10 of Swords, and the Star card. 6 of Wands is in reverse. It's a strange one, right? So I guess out of the last impression, the last thought they had was a positive one. But they also had less positive thoughts when they last saw you, or the last encounter, or the last interaction, no matter how that went or through which means. I think their last impression was something is over, I'm feeling totally defeated, I'm never gonna climb back up that mountain, there's no way I can get back into this person's esteem and gain their respect and you. They feel like they didn't bring their A game here, meaning they didn't act, they did a lot of, they were more passive than active when in dealing with you. And at the same time, they could have also shied away. So, you know, this is a card where you would be being looked at or be the onlooker. So in reverse could mean you're nowhere to be seen, or they were nowhere to be seen. The latest impression would be a strange one, in the sense that it's almost like saying there's no hope, and yet I don't even know how this happens, but it's like this person is filled with faith. I think this person knows they have some kind of a guiding star, if you want, or really, really good spirit guides. I think that this person, there's something about hope, but there's also the wish behind it. So if they're not fully hopeful about the last encounter and the last impression they've made on you, or vice versa, and this reading is difficult to pinpoint in terms of who would this apply to, right? So I'll let you decide. It's your life. But either way, there's also the impression that a lot of it is maybe wishful thinking, yet it's really not my feeling. At least mine here would be that, yes, there is hope. Yes, they're wishing for a better, I guess, outcome with you, or just to have, for you to have a much better image of them, or impression of them, opinion. as much as I'm saying that it's a wish of theirs, excuse me, I sense the conviction. So there's something that I need to nuance here. It's the conviction is not about being, how can I say this, like conceited or thinking, you know, well, it's gotta be, you know, I'll play here, like, oh, I'm so great, you know, that yes, you know, they should see me in a bright light. But it's really nothing of the sort. It's just this interesting ability. It's like saying, like, in the face of very dire circumstances, they still have faith that you'll see the good in them. This is really like what I'm sensing. All right, let's do Cancer now. What's in store for Cancer? What is the last impression they made on you, Cancer? Or that you made on them, I'm sorry. I think I'm the one confusing things here. The High Priestess in reverse. There's a big pile. It didn't turn. I'm going to put it back. Eight of Swords in reverse came out. One more. You get 3. I'm actually going to keep them because they've turned. 9 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and the 6 of Wands in reverse. Okay, let's look at this. What kind of an impression did you make, Cancer? Well, I think they saw you as very extroverted, right? Extroverted. So outgoing and outspoken, you know, stress-free, maybe even a bit carefree, but not so much carefree, just free. Free to speak your mind, really. And then they also have had a different opinion, which is different than the first one. I'm not too sure. This is more intuitive than anything. I feel they sensed you to be more alone than you let people on, that you let on, right? That you kind of like, this energy like shows you to be like extremely sociable, fearless almost, opinionated even maybe, but mostly outspoken about it, transparent about it, about this particular being direct if you want. But they also sense you to be lonely. And I know this would be the Independence, right? If it was upright, but it's still there for me. These figures are like, they're in reverse. So the person, you know, should be extremely successful. If you were to switch this around, you know, this is like major success at work and business, financially, being wealthy or well off, or at least, you know, without having any sort of scarcity. So the cards in reverse here, like, for me, you know, it'd be easy to say, they have no money, they're broke, etc. You could say that. But the main energy for me here is loneliness. And also the fact that the cards, the two sets of cards are saying different things. That's what's really revealing or revealed here. It's the fact that the way the person comes off is not truly how they're feeling. So the kind of person that has a very different private life, that is different in private than they are in the world. So I'm curious to know how they actually got to see that of you, because I don't think that this energy would have been easily seen with this in your face, right? As this being your first encounter and impression of them and experience of them. But if the cards are here, it means you've managed to see that, to pierce that. I'm debating if I'm going to pull another card. I want to know, I am going to pull one. I'm curious to know how they got to see that. What made them see that? There's one card that came. The Queen of Swords. That's so interesting because it's a very good middle ground between the two sets of cards, right? This queen would be very eloquent and would be like decisive and kind of bossy, and would be perfectly able to, like, quote unquote, give orders, or, you know, like, feel very, or come through as extremely confident, a good leader, a good product, a good manager, something like that. But they also come off as cold. And so this is what they're picking up on. The coldness is basically the loneliness, the fact that the person has a hard time showing emotions, speaking of their emotions. So you are them, right? So I'm sorry, maybe I'm destroying the theme of the reading, but either way, it goes both ways. Whether it's their experience of you or yours of them. We'll keep this as a cross-watchers read, right? Where things can be flipped. Let's do Leo. Let's look at Leo. What's the last impression you made on them, Leo? 5 of Wands and the Hermit. What a contradiction. Let me pull one more card here. I'm hearing they thought you were very silent and purposely withdrew. They might have seen you withdraw from basically either a crowd or a group, or even a little argument in any given context. That's irrelevant. But they would have been the one that withdrew, or they saw you withdraw. And they also realize that you don't like fighting. Two cards flipped. I'm trying to grab them. The Judgment and Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. It's a funny one. You know, I'm hearing that they would have had to run after you to present something to you. So when you shied away, right, when you walked off, I think they wanted to come back to you and like offer you something, and at the same time they decided not to. Do you see what I mean? It's like a mix of, let me go, and a little bit like if you have an argument and someone like kind of doesn't want to speak anymore and they kind of want to walk off, or you know, and you're trying to say, no, stay, we're gonna work it out or something. That's the energy of, no, please stay, let's try again, let's make amends, right? But maybe you would have hesitated, or someone would have hesitated about offering either the apology, or these 4 cards are like, they express a dynamic. The other thing that's different and that I need to say here is the group here, because it's the group's energy that dictates the interaction between you and this person that we're talking about. So it's not so much the group, but the energy of that argument or of that situation, and then what that creates right here between the two of you. There's something that's wanting to, or either it's you or them, right, wanting to go after the person that has walked out or that wants to walk out, yet falling short, I think, either of managing to either have the person stay to talk some more, or not being able to apologize, or maybe even having the apology being maybe, how do you say, turned down. Let's look at Virgo. What is the energy for Virgo when it comes to their latest impression on someone, or someone's latest impression on them? Either way. Nine of Cups in reverse. King of Swords. I would like to get one more for you, Virgo. What's the latest impression? And the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, well, the impression you left, or that they left on you, is one of not being gratified in the moment. Someone could have been a little cold or aloof, or simply just unavailable, or seemingly unavailable. They could have also been putting off the energy of, someone that you feel you cannot talk to, because they choose to look like mean and scary. The King of Swords actually sometimes enjoys that, to look like the big bad wolf, and yet they're not always. So that's interesting. I think that's part of the latest impression. Actually feeling and knowing that this person puts on a facade in terms of like just how stern they might be, as part of like I guess, you know, either their position, status, just their responsibilities, right? It's almost like saying that's the persona that comes with maybe the title that they have and the job they occupy, something like that. So they have a hard time, I mean, everyone has a hard time feeling, you know, like this is I can be happy and laugh and make some jokes, crack some jokes with this particular person, right? I think this is not something that's, it's not the impression that this person or that you give off. Either way, Virgo. The beautiful thing is the impression that they have is that you're patient, resilient almost. It's more than just patience. It's almost optimistic, which is interesting because they had the optimism when they came towards you. That's what they bring. Like that, this is something that's they're wishing for more joy around you, but it's difficult around this figure, the king, because of the swords suit. And yet they're willing to maybe either spend the time that is necessary to eventually, you know, get under the facade, or, you know, that's one way of seeing things. It could just be that they also see how methodical, patient, attentive to detail you really are. But this Seven of Pentacles, there's another, the main layer here, the main energy is waiting on you, having the patience, having the foresight. It's not a card of foresight. There's a lot more foresight here. This king is like eagle-eyed. But there is foresight. I say that because you need foresight to be able to envision and imagine that the seeds that you don't see for a while are actually going to grow, and having the foresight of that harvest, you know. So that's there. I also like the energy that they don't feel that their time or their energy was wasted. So they know that they need to just stick around. And I think keep watering. We don't see it here, the action is not depicted, but you can imagine that this gardener would be watering his plants, his crops. So there's the impression of, not just the impression, there's the added meaning here of nurturing. That's what they want. That's the impression, right? That it's possible, that they can do that because it won't be a waste of time with you. But they are facing kind of a wall more than anything. Or you are, Virgo. Let's do Libra. Let's do Libra. What is the last impression that Libra made on this person? Or what is the impression that this person made on Libra? Five of Cups in reverse with the Page of Wands in reverse. They were disappointed, for sure. Disappointed in the communication or the lack of. King of Cups. No wonder they were disappointed. This person brings the A game, right? They're the package. Whoever this is, they're the package. So there's many ways to read this. I really don't think this energy belongs to this king. I think this king has enough sensitivity to be able to communicate sensitivity. So being upright, he should be able to communicate any disappointment in the best possible way. But that's not what's happening. So these energies for me are separate from this king. So in your reading, Libra, I'm going to have to pull more cards just to get quote unquote the two sides. So if you're the King of Cups, you're the emotionally mature one, and you would have been disappointed. Your last impression would have been being disappointed with the communication from this coming from this person. Knight of Wands in reverse. That's much more like their energy, right? Being in and out, leaving you disappointed, especially emotionally wise, right? Leaving you thirsty, hungry for more. You didn't get enough communication. You didn't get enough physical or any, for that matter. Let's look at the King of Cups. I am curious. I will pull a card on him. Just one. This one wants to come out, and I can see it's the Eight of Pentacles. You see, it's a beautiful energy on this side. Someone is hardworking, and in this case, I think it's hardworking in love, which is beautiful. So, in your reading, Libra, I think we're really looking at two sides. So, hopefully, you're this king. You're very, very ripe for, I say that because it's the Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of mastery in repetition. So this person would have mastered relationships, quote unquote. Not to say that they've accumulated that many relationships or important relationships, but enough so that they are now fully balanced and they know what they want. And the other impression I'm getting is that they're ripe, so they're more than ready for that very long commitment on which they're so eager to work on. But the last impression here, so if you're this King of Cups, Libra, you would have left this impression on this person. And yet, the impression that they left on you is so negative. Or just so opposite, so different. I'm curious. I am going to draw one more card. 3 came. I want to know why this person is behaving like the Knight of Wands. Are they really a Knight of Wands? I get more 9s. I get 9 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles in the middle. That's so strange. you know, this person is not a real Knight of Wands. Because look, in the back, they're like super stressed, right? They're only wanting to give to this, but they feel insecure. They don't see their own worth. They also they don't want to be single. So it's not a matter of not wanting to be in a relationship, not wanting to give and share. They're just like overridden with fears and anxiety. I mean, I'm going to show you something, but, you know, look at this again. You know, this person is, it's the package. So maybe they have an inferiority complex, which would be seen like fully here like this. So they come off as fickle, non-committal. And look, it's the opposite of what they wish to depict, right? By that I mean, how can I put it? I'm not sure, by pointing these cards, it's like my thought went so fast. For me, I don't know how to say it to you. It was like a flash. I don't even remember like the way it really came through. So I'm not going to try to remember exactly my thought, but the feeling was it's not who they are. Like this is like a contradiction, right? In the sense that okay, when you look at these cards, it doesn't look like it's someone quote unquote valuable. Okay, I'm gonna go the long road to explain this. Sorry, but it's better than this one in a sense that this person is a player and they do it on purpose, and they don't care. So this energy is, let's say, the false one, if you want, or let's say just like that. Whereas here, of course, if the king was to peer into this, you know, he would be like, okay, well, I only see anxiety and I see someone unsure, right? So these cards don't show the value of the person, but they clearly show that they are not this person. This is what I meant. This is what I meant. And the saving grace is what they actually have to offer and the way they wish to partake in a relationship. And it's funny because it's one card out of 6, right? So it's only a sliver of, you know, their personality. Not to say that they don't have a lot to give or a lot of desire to be of equal give and take with you, or having an equal give and take with you. Just to say that you don't get to see it much because it's not very apparent. So it's not about measuring it, it's just about seeing it or not. Let's do Scorpio. Sorry, I'm splitting all the cards, making sure they don't stay together for the next shuffle. Let's do Scorpio. What is the latest or the last impression Scorpio made on this person, or vice versa? The Knight of Wands, upright. I laugh because I just pulled the Knight of Wands in reverse for Libra. And he came right back out for you, Scorpio. Eight of Swords in reverse. Someone is gung-ho. Big time here. That's the impression you got. Someone very sure. As I said that, the Three of Cups came out. I love that it came out as I said sure. This person knows they want you. They know they want to reunite with you. The impression that they got was that it's reciprocal, that you would feel happy about it as much as they do. It makes them very excited, happy, like very, you know, I don't know, almost like impatient a little bit. You know, they're like wanting to come out of their, you know, no matter what this could be for them, right? Whether it's just like, first of all, this person is not in their head. So it's not about, you know, having to overcome shyness or whatever. This is more about they have nothing that holds them back, literally, even more so than most people. So the impression is coming out of the gate, you know, like fast for this. And no matter where they are situated, located, far, near, are they caught up in something, no matter what their circumstances are, like they won't let that stop them. Yeah, the impression they got was a very happy one. They left with a very happy feeling. You know, that they could actually almost, it's almost getting a little bit of a taste of something even before it happens. Kind of this energy, right? Like the anticipation of something very good. Let's do Sagittarius. Let's do Sag. What is Sag's latest impression of this person, or this person's last impression of Sagittarius? We have Justice. The Moon. One more card, please. What is the impression? The last impression. Knight of Swords. I like that the 3 cards are upright. The first thing that came to my mind was they got an array of impressions. They got 3 kinds of impressions. They feel distinct. So the first one, I'll start with Justice. The first one was, they sense, well, you could say they sense you to be balanced, but with the two other cards there, it's not the main energy. So it's a possibility. I am saying it for the record, but it's not what I'm primarily sensing. So in this case, I think they found you a little bit impenetrable in French. I know it's the same word in English, I just can't pronounce it to save my life. Anyways, so by that I mean, you know, a little bit of a mysterious side, sensing you to be emotional and yet sensing you to be very objective and impartial and even like poker face. So they're getting like mixed signals almost. Not to say that you're, or you know, not to say that mixed signals are being put out there on purpose. I think it's just like the impression, right? The perception of either party here. I also think that the more impartial side came out, was in the forefront, at the forefront of this encounter, or at least is the main energy that they're left with when dealing with you. Part of it is because of this Knight of Swords, right? So they might have been seeing you act or behave, or I don't know in which circumstance, but they would have seen how decisive you can be, right? Or you would have seen this of them, right? So of not having the shadow of a doubt of what it is that you need to do and how it's got to be done. Like, it's like this is a quick decision-making energy. One that is meant to be fair and irrevocable. So they might have perceived you as, you know, the impression would have been like, okay, this person is extremely decisive, determined, strong-willed, and even quick at that, right? The quickness, the speed is important. So the speed of the judgment. So I feel they would have admired that greatly, actually. They could have also perceived so that as decisive and I guess factual as the decision could have been, at least outwardly, I do think that they perceive you to be kind of mysterious, to have this aura of mystery around how it is that you decide, either the inner workings of, you know, your brain as you make decisions. It would have happened too quickly. That would have been impressive to them. It could also be that they don't know how you manage to maybe put your emotions aside when it's time to like make a very impartial decision or a tough decision. So they would have been very impressed, actually. And they might have left a little bit confused, a little bit, like, or at least wondering, right? I'll leave it at that. Let's do Capricorn. Let's look at Capricorn's energy. almost turned. Capricorns, this one. The Hangman in reverse. Last impression made on Capricorn by this person, or the last impression this person made on Capricorn. Queen of Swords. One more. There, Nine of Cups. They would have seen you as someone who is done waiting. Someone who I feel has their eyes turned to the future, almost welcoming the future if you want, with the hand raised. almost like a bring it on energy, but not quite. But the bring on energy, it's like bring on the good stuff, right? Bring it on to me. It's an interesting mix here, because the impression left would have been like almost like someone that's that loves, you know, good food, the good life, a good laugh, and yet I don't know, somewhat like, you know, the kind of person that you don't expect to be to have like a really loud laugh until you hear them laugh the first time. So this kind of person, right, that you know them in a particular setting or to be a certain way, and then out of the blue, sometimes in particular circumstances, suddenly they they let out like a belly laugh, right, that just like totally takes you aback, of, you know, almost like, did that come out of you? That kind of energy. So part of it could be that they're shy. They came out of this very, I guess, limbo-esque energy, or they might have been like that in the past. Somewhat how can I say this? I mean, the words I'm getting are like, if the hangman was upright, it'd be like left out to hang, right? So I'm kind of there with the wording, in the sense that this person might have been left out to hang in the past, or they could have had an attitude of, you know, I'd rather wait, I'd rather hang or hang out somewhere else, or, but it's upright now. Sorry, it's in reverse. It's the hangman. It's always the paradox. So yeah, the card is in reverse. So I meant to say that this is not so much the case anymore. The person here doesn't want to be just hanging on the sides. They don't want to be left out. That's what I'm hearing, really. You know, they want to partake in the party and the pleasure and the fun. It's almost, that's a pretty cool one. I like that it's almost like a past life and a new life kind of vibe. Almost like, well, this was my past. I used to be like this, and now, like, this is what I really want. Like the bring it on energy. Like, no, I want more joy, more fun. I want more happiness. I want to be optimistic and, you know, buoyant, feel buoyant and uplifting and uplifted, and not, I guess, you know, hanging out alone, or almost like the timeout, right? Being put on timeout. Socially speaking, which is like really what I want to express here. Like, this is like not being, this is being asocial, and this is being social. Anywho, was that Capricorn? I forget now. I think so. Let's do Aquarius. If ever I skipped Capricorn, I'll do a little quick video, separate video in case. Anyway, this, if I'm correct, should be Aquarius. Let's see the latest impression Aquarius made, or that this person made on Aquarius. Six of Swords, Four of Swords in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, you made quite an impression, Aquarius, or they did on you. You're really wanting to take that step towards them. You know, you really want to come out of a deep, I'm sensing you to want to come out of a particular dark period. And not to say that it was gloomy, like, but a lot of, I'm hearing questions, right? So like a questioning phase, for which you would have needed to spend time, or them, again, it's going to be mixed. You apply it to who it fits, right? A lot of questioning. You know, it doesn't really show here, but this particular room here where this soldier is, maybe he's a king, who knows, but there's a lot of yellow on the card, right? It's still, the room is lit kind of for like the image. I mean, but when you really think about it, if you were to step in this particular crypt, there wouldn't be much light. Not even as much as on this card, right? So that's what I'm sensing. There would have been like maybe like a darker phase in this person's life where they would have been either idle or just spent a lot of time questioning things. That's the word I got. I guess it comes also from the inquisitive mind of the Page of Pentacles, and the curiosity it takes and the motivation it takes to actually get up and being set in motion. The person is really wanting to come to you. I don't know what they're presenting, what they want to talk about, what they have to offer. I think it's a mix of all of that. I think it's both wanting to give you as much as receive from you. I always, for me, there's an exchange on this card, even if it looks like it's only unidirectional. I believe this energy to be bi-directional, at least in this case. Because I think this person sees that you would be receptive to what they're bringing you. I mean, they're coming from very far. And in that, the cards came out in this order, but I want you to see how far they came from, right? They came from this dark place or darker place for them. They really like got up, got dressed, got on the boat, probably, you know, got on the horse to get on the boat. Before they got on the boat, etc. I'm doing it on purpose just to show you that they journeyed very far, from a far distance, symbolically, physically, doesn't matter, both. So these cards, it's really special for you, Aquarius, because what's different with your reading is that the impression that either they left on you for you to come out of the, you know, this particular break period, or for you to have, for them to have made an impression strong enough for you to actually come out of that particular state, mind state, for you to physically move yourself and gather yourself and offer the best of yourself. You must have made quite an impression. And that's what's different with your reading, is that these cards are showing what you do from the impression, but they're not necessarily saying exactly what the impression was. Only that it was positive enough to move them in this way. It's gorgeous. Let's do Pisces. Let's do Pisces. What's the latest or the last impression that Pisces made on this person, or that this person made on Pisces? The last impression, please. Let's see. Hermit and Tower. I'm gonna get one more at least. You did surprise them. You surprised them, that's for sure, Pisces, or they surprised you. Maybe even shocked you. Let me get one more card, please. Clarify this impression. Oh, wow. Okay. 2 cards. You have the Hierophant in reverse with the Magician in reverse. You have 4 major arcanas. It's pretty intense. Okay. Whew. It's a big one. You did make a big impression. Not to say the best impression, though, I have to admit. Well, first of all, I don't even know if it's an impression, because when something comes so sudden, right, almost shockingly, does it really leave an impression, or does it leave an imprint? I'm not sure, you know what I mean? So right off the bat, we could question that. But that's not the point of this reading. So there's something about walking out, walking off, retreating, isolating, not speaking, doing more thinking than speaking, even sulking. So the order in which the cards come is first this, and so the shock comes from adopting this attitude towards you, or so either it's the interaction between the two of you, but it's what was received, right? As well, I'm not wanting to interact, or I'm not wanting to deal with you, relate, and that was, I guess, difficult and surprising. But then we have the Hierophant in reverse with the Magician in reverse. So, okay, there's contradicting energies here. That's why I'm stopping. So, although the Hermit is an energy of retreating and I guess taking a different route or just taking a different path, this person's own path, which is to be respected, but it's still a different path than the one you'd be walking together if you were to walk together by, you know, being in a relationship. Part of the impression, this person is very committed. They're committed to their path. But what we see next is the Hierophant in reverse. So the impression that you got, or that they got, Pisces, from you, was that there was no commitment or no committed attitude, or like you couldn't, that you didn't have it in you. But it's a different kind of commitment between these two, right? They're both committed to spirituality in general, especially these two. But well, first of all, he's in reverse, so he's actually showing signs of having a hard time following the rules. Not to say that he cannot commit, but maybe he has a different viewpoint, could be. But mostly different viewpoint, and I literally say that like almost like from a physical plane, because the Hermit is on the flat grounds, and he's walking the earth, right? It's horizontal. Whereas the High Priest is a vertical energy of spirituality. He doesn't walk, he sits, but the energy is vertical. Whereas this energy is horizontal, and it's in movement, albeit slow, but it's in movement. So I'm depicting this, describing this to you so that you get the energy, the feeling that both can commit, both have spiritual values and ideals, and spirituality regulates their lives. But they have different viewpoints, they have different standpoints on it, at least in the moment. And so it feels like this is irreconcilable just because this one is in reverse, and because of there was a shock caused, right? So there is somewhat of either it's a difference in opinion, it's a difference in how both see the world, it's a difference in how they deal with it, and ultimately how they deal with one another, right? So this one would really want to walk away from a very or too rigid of an authority, so the kind of pressure, the authority. So that's important in the dynamic. And then here we have the Magician in reverse. So couple this energy with, you know, a little bit of manipulation and coercion in this case. That's what this individual had a hard time with. And really, honestly, there's no... I don't think that there's right or wrong here. But the overall impression, and these cards, it's like, I don't know if, I think it might have been Libra. I don't remember now, sorry. But there was another read in this sequence that we had different cards, but the different sets of cards were for the two signs, right? It's a little bit like that here. And yet, I can also read the cards as this could be also one energy. So whatever that choice was that surprised you, Pisces, or whichever way, right? The fact that this person isolated themselves, you perceive those reasons to be linked to this energy. So, you know, just being very stubborn about it and manipulative and just wanting to have control at any cost. It could have been perceived by you as such. But it's interesting that to me, the fact that the person chose to walk away is, I don't think that they actually want control, to exercise control and to, I don't think that's what they do, and I don't think that's what they want. They might just come off as such, since it's an impression, right? We're all like working in the realm of perception here, so the experience you have with someone, of someone. So you did, or they did, leave a difficult impression on you. One that I think you're still wondering about, is it possible to, you know, I don't know, it could be talk with this person, just even interact with them, whichever. Because obviously here we're not looking at the circumstances of the shock, or at least of the experience. But we know that something surprising, this walking away or retreating, was surprising to a degree. And was misperceived as being stubborn and manipulative, or was in reaction to either one person or more than one person to in authority, with very that would have been very strict also. And this person would have had a hard time with this kind of pressure, coercion, manipulation, or just it's a power struggle, you could say, to a degree. But you see, it's important to know that the power is only here, right? So this person is quite powerless. It's very different. And maybe the context, it's really interesting. Maybe the context of, remember I just said like 2 minutes ago, like, I don't know, like the context, and it could have been like, all of this could have been happening in a tower, right? Inside of a tower. So inside of a building, you can imagine if this is a work situation, which it could be, this would be like the physical space itself. That's really interesting. So shocking last impression in this case. And one that leaves a question mark as to if it can be, I don't know, turned around. So there you have it. Hopefully, guys, something resonated in here for you. If I missed any sign, I will create a very short video, separate one, to compensate. And obviously, hope you know that it'll be time-stamped. I'll put those in both the description box and in the comments for your convenience. So take care of yourselves. I hope to see you very soon. Take care.